When Gravity Fails is a 1986 novel by George Alec Effinger, and is book one in the Marid Audran sci-fi cyberpunk series, which is named for the main character, Marid Audran. There are two other books, but the author actually died while working on the fourth book. I'm not sure how many he intended to have. I don't know if the fourth is supposed to be the final one or whatnot, but they pretty much all work as standalones. You read the first one, you get in there; read the second one, you get in there; read the third one, and it works fine in there. And that's where we have to, pretty much. And I've actually read one of his short stories in the Big Book of Cyberpunk, but this was my first big introduction to him. But that story was The World as We Know It. This is a Middle Eastern cyberpunk novel, or it's particularly, I guess, Islamic, having a kind of another golden age for Islam, while the West kind of fails and founders. It's the late 22nd century. The United States, Soviet Union, and Europe have fractured. The story itself is told in first person from Marid's perspective. Marid Audran is from the Maghreb, born to a Frenchman and Algerian prostitute. He is in the Levant, though, in an unnamed city. He's a freelance small-scale operator working in Boudayin, the entertainment quarter of the city, also the criminal quarter. He doesn't have any cybernetic implants, and he's pretty proud of this. Implants in this future are largely for uploading other personalities, how other people act, and overlaying that over your own self, right? This can make people act very out of character, or into other characters, so to speak, whether they're fictional or real. These implants can also make it so certain things are repressed, right? Like the need to pee, or moving you to a maniacal murder, for example, when you might normally not be down to murder anyone. The plot starts us in a bar somewhere where some shady things are happening. Kind of a club, more like, I guess. Audran goes to meet a Russian client. A series of murders bring panic to the neighborhood, and Audran is treated poorly. In comes Friedlander Bay, who causes more abuse to Audran. In an interesting way. It starts with a lovely perception when stage girls have the cosmetics on, like for their nose, their butt, their boobs, right? That really makes them, in some ways, look the same. And that's a low-level sense of transhumanism. And in Chapter 2, we actually figure out sex changes are very common, that's what they're called, and so is life considerably, actually past 100 years of age. There's a lot of characters, and there's one named Bill from the U.S. before collapse, and present day. Deseret, actually, is where he's from, so probably Utah or the Mormon corridor somewhere. We also get plenty of tidbits on culture and religion that I found helpful, though I was familiar with some of them already. It's wildly entertaining as a novel, though, and I mentioned earlier the trans sex, and it's actually really common, kind of like in Banks culture common. The Boudin was realized by Effingers living on Bourbon Street, actually in New Orleans. Some characters are actually based off real people, and I imagine the James Bond stuff in the novel is based off actual enjoyment of the James Bond novels. Interestingly, there is something else set between this first novel and the second novel. It is actually a 1990 MS-DOS video game called Circuit's Edge. I have not played it, but you can probably find it relatively easy these days. Also, I didn't realize Effinger was married to Barbara Hambly, actually. And the title of this book is from a Bob Dylan song. Anyways, overall, it's a really awesome story. I very much enjoyed it. Actually, as of recording this, I've read all three. That's how much I enjoyed it. I read them pretty quickly. So anyhow, leave the moons, I'll see you. I'll catch you next time.